Press the buttons in the right order and something might happen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Vobes One-Eyed Kenobi Showbee with the lovely Julia.
And the lovely Richard.
How are you, Julia?
Not too bad, thank you. How are
You're
you?
very glamorous this evening.
Oh, thank you.
And so am I. So, welcome.
Sorry, and so are you.
Thank you very much. Read the autocue.
Prima donnas, eh?
I don't know where you get them from. So, it's the 17th of November 2021 this evening. This day will never come back again. So, I hope you've made the most of it. I've kept images of it on a computer screen in a thing that will come out on Saturday.
A thing.
Yes, a thing, a video. A video. That's a sort of thing that I do.
A visual thing.
Yes. Have you done anything interesting with your day today?
Not really.
No?
Just the usual.
What would that be?
Managing a 2-year-old.
Well, that's special, isn't it?
It is special.
If you didn't manage him, he might run out into the middle of the road and cause an accident.
Yeah.
He might break cars. He might get lorries and push them off a cliff. You know what he's like?
Yep.
Good
job we don't live...
It's a good job.
It's a good job he's not a cat. He'd be knocking everything off the road. Boof,
yeah,
boof.
It's a good job he's not a cat. Blimey,
Good job.
can you imagine the birth? Anyway, welcome to another exciting...
Much easier, I should imagine.
Yes, that's true. Yes, just the tail.
I'd have happily had 6 of them at once.
Can you imagine the midwife pulling out a cat and thinking, this is the umbilical cord. Wait, look at that. Snip. Oh, you've cut the tail off the... Oh, that would be dreadful. Anyway, it's lovely to see you. Thank you very much for coming by. We're doing another hour, of course, which starts at 8:30. So those of you thinking of watching another bloody YouTube video at 9 o'clock, tough. So I'm afraid you're going to be strapped to a chair and watching this. Don't put things like that into the comments. For goodness sake. It's like, oh, I'd like you to do just an hour because I've got to go watch something else. Sharp. Imagine the BBC. Can you imagine the BBC? Someone writing in, "Dear BBC, I do like Doctor Who very much, but could you shove it an hour earlier? Only I like to watch something on ITV at the same time." It's like... And anyway, welcome to the show. It's very nice to see you. 0793 4746790 is our number. And and you can give us a call. We have 2 videos apparently, Julia.
Yes. Apparently so.
Yes, apparently so. And I've written down on this very piece of old-fashioned formula paper. Ray of Hope has a MIDI melody made from a MIDI file. You ever seen a MIDI file? It's like a midget's file, only... Imagine midgets in prison.
Excuse me while I die inside.
Oh, sorry. Dwarfs in prison. Hi-ho, hi-ho, we can't get out and go. Oh, what a shame. But you get a MIDI file, or a midget file, and it'd take forever to get through, wouldn't it?
It would.
This show is impolitically incorrect.
Yeah, impolitically incorrect.
It's politically incorrect. I'm sorry about that, but that's just, I'm from the old school. I cannot change my ways, will not change my ways, shouldn't change my ways. Went to Strange Ways, the wrong sort of prison for a bloke. Unless, of course, you are gender fluid. Wait, that gender... If you're gender fluid, does it mean your boobs sort of slip around on your body? Sometimes they go up there onto your head. Certainly with a man, you could call him a...
Hang on a minute.
A tithead.
That's interesting.
Yeah, is it? Anything
I'm just
in
seeing the mechanisms of your brain.
It's whizzing extra
the
fast tonight.
Machinations of your brain.
Yes, those machinations.
Machinations.
They're doing things.
Colonel Cragratty says, "Are you wearing one of Richard's knitted jumpers?" No, this is mine.
Your mother made that one, isn't it?
No, this is a Mary Hammond.
Is that a Mary Hammond?
This is a Mary Hammond.
Oh, good old Mary
Love
Hammond.
it.
Lovely,
Love
so
it.
nice. Thank you so much, Mary, for knitting the jumpers.
Yes.
We also have a video from Dale, who is going to be walking Bletchingley Railway Tunnel.
Ooh.
Yeah, a working tunnel, and he has to dodge a few trains at the same time. He treads over the electric cable that they left in there. And, I tell you, the only drawback, the only thing about it is it was bloody filmed in profile instead of portrait, instead of landscape.
Oops.
But
Careful. I might need that again.
that's my phone, that one.
Oh, that's your phone. Right.
Yeah, that's my phone.
Yeah, there's the studio phone.
There's the studio
All right,
phone,
Be
yeah.
careful with that one then.
All right, fair enough. But we're very much looking forward to it because I think you'll be amazed what it's like in a working tunnel with trains. Bloody hell. I've already seen it. It's when the train goes over Dale's foot. That's the hilarious. I mean, he does give a little wince, which I can imagine was a lot more painful. And apparently he's back there tonight looking for the toes. But anyway, toes on toast, very nice. You ever tried toes on toast?
Can't say I have.
No, can't say I have either, but I'm sure it's very nice. We do have some talking points as well to keep us going throughout the hour, and of course I'm sure you'll add to the jelly-fresh appearance of this show, which should be fun. I don't know what jelly-fresh appearance is, but I'm sure you'll add to it with all your merriment and mirth.
Mr. Mocky says, hang on, I'm just turning the telly over on its side, ready.
Yes, excellent. That's the best way to watch anything that's in the wrong, turn the telly round. And they do that, don't they, on the tube and in bus stations and in bus shelters that have those electric things. They show posters, like living posters, don't they? And you've seen those?
Oh, right, they move, yeah.
When they've got television screens and they put them that way round instead of widescreen.
Got you, yeah.
And so they have their they're like posters, but they're television screens.
Yeah, you can get them on the sides of bus stops and stuff.
And
as well.
on the sides, and they put them that way around, and I can understand that. That makes sort of sense as long as you film it with that in mind.
Yeah.
But mostly we optically look at things in a horizontal way. That's why cinemas have the wide screen. They don't have tall and bottom screen. Come to our tall and bottom screening tonight of a very exciting thing. I mean, if you were going through the fissure of a crack in a mountain, then that might really be dramatic.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's very good. It's a great video, so look forward to that. Dale, thank you so much for sending it in. Ignore all my taking a mickey out of it because it's filmed in bloody profile portrait mode. We loved it. Now, we haven't seen it, but we have loved it already. We're
going to love it.
Yeah. It's going to encourage many more people to go down into the tunnels and look for themselves and dodge those trains. Maybe not. Maybe that's not a good idea. And I think if anybody was thinking of doing that, you're bonkers. Insulate Britain. Have you heard the news?
Yes, I have.
Insulate Britain. Ha! 8 of them, well, 9 in actual fact, 8 have been jailed for 4 months, slammed in. So they're going to be slammed in for Christmas. That'll teach them. No turkey for them.
That'll learn them.
That will. They'll just be having porridge. I guess for them it'll be quite pleasant, though, because imagine sitting on a motorway with everyone shouting at you, get away, get away. They only did it so they could have 4 months off.
Free meals.
3 meals a day. They haven't got to sit down and protest and hold banners up and all of that. But apparently there was a 9th bloke who said, if you don't jail me, I'm going to sit on the motorway anyway. So the judge went, right, that's it, you're going to prison too. He didn't get 4 months, though. He only got like 3 weeks or something.
Flappy Goose says, will their jail cell be insulated?
Well, I hope not. I hope that they don't put any glass in. It's just bars, and they. If anything else, I mean, even if they didn't actually, even if they were insulated, I just want them to put sound effects of a cold wind blowing, just to add to the misery. But the question I want to ask is 4 months enough? Is it long enough? Do you think that is sufficient? Or would you like them to be a lot longer? I saw one chap say, well, they should be, because they glued themselves, didn't they, to the tarmac. So that actually, a bit like in Life of Brian, they should be in the jail, but sort of glued to the wall. That would be great. Perhaps having their noses glued to that would be perfect. Because they are a ruddy nuisance.
They were a bit naughty, weren't they?
A bit naughty.
Dave Avad says, not the wayward wind. Mr. Mocky says, no, 40 months.
40 months. 40 months. 40 months and no return. Yes, I mean, in the old days, if you'd so much as nicked as a little hot cross bun, you would have been hanged. You would have been taken from this place and hanged at the crossroads and at the Tyburn by the neck. You would be doing the dance of death. So is it long enough? What do you think? Do you think they should have? Is that too much? Do you think that they were? Do you actually remember what their cause is? I never quite could work out whether they were too busy worried about the end of the world or whether they really cared about insulating houses. Because after all, they did stop one insulating lorry, and it was in a picture, in a video, trying to get through, and he couldn't get through, and it had home insulation written all over the lorry. It's
so silly, isn't it? Really silly.
But these were people who had more time on their hands, and so I'm very pleased to see that. But is anybody on their side? That's what I really would like to know. I'd like to hear from somebody who's actually on their side and thought their tactics were good. Because in some of the videos that I saw, you'd see every now and again a cyclist would go whizzing past going, yeah, keep going. And you just thought, you've just cycled past all this traffic that is stuck on the roads, and you could see the frustration of people, the cancer patients who couldn't get to hospital, the brain surgeons who couldn't get to the people who needed it, the people who were going for aeroplanes to go across the other world to see their loved ones that they've never seen before and who couldn't. All these poor people who were desperately going somewhere, and some people. So I'd love to hear somebody who actually was in favour of what they did. Yes.
Be interesting.
Wouldn't it be interesting?
The Station Master's Choice says, did I see that the Insulated Britain lot have started in Scotland? I don't think they will be so well tolerated there.
No, can you imagine? The Scottish won't have time. They'll just throw up over them. And I don't blame them. They'll just go to with a local kebab house, have half a dozen whiskies, and then stag about and go, okay, they're new. All like that. And that's...
They got 4 months for contempt of court, not for protesting.
Oh, well...
Says Guy GFM.
Oh, well, that's fair enough, because the court ruling was that they shouldn't go onto the motorway. That was the ruling, wasn't it? And so they've broken the contempt of court, because they are in contempt of court because they carried on protesting.
Right.
So, I mean, you're splitting hairs. Basically, they were told not to do it on those roads. They did do it, and away they went. But notice, I looked on a newspaper thing, and the ones who are doing it are not the spokesmen, the irritating ones that put their faces up on the media. Whatever, I can't even remember their names now. They're hideous, ugly-looking people. A bit like me, really. But they, unfortunately, didn't. I'd like to see them in prison. But there they are. Audrey Forbes says, I think you're in for a long wait. What is she talking about?
I was trying to work that out. Not sure.
We don't know what you're talking about.
Mark Burgess says, I posted pictures of a dragonfly close-up on Bold Explorer Facebook page.
It's not my fault. You can go to prison for that, if you put close-ups of dragonflies on the Bold Explorer Facebook page. Is that a good thing?
And I agree with Andy Dalglish here. He says, surely stationary traffic increases local pollution.
Well, it is, because, people would say, oh, well, they should turn off their ignition. But you don't know how long it is, do you? When you're several cars back and it slows down, you think, oh, it's going to go in a minute. And then it's going to go in a minute, isn't it? It's going to go in a minute. Somebody's ringing in. Marvellous stuff. We love it when we get a nice little phone call.
Aloha.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. It's Terry from Southwater.
Hello, Terry from Southwater. Lovely to hear from you. How are you?
Yes. I was 5 minutes late picking up your show, but
don't worry.
I was quite interested to see the thumbnail on YouTube. You both had your tongues hanging out.
Yes. What I tend to do is I pick an old
thumbnail.
Pick an old thumbnail, and then and I change it. So it's just an old thumbnail from a show that we did once in the past.
Yeah. I think you're probably putting your tongues out at the Insulate mob.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. So are you pleased that they've gone to prison, or do you not care one way or another?
I think that's probably too lean a sentence for them, actually. What I would like to put them as an alternative, make them do community service, picking up litter on the motorways that people seem to like chucking out.
I think that's a very good one. Yep. Particularly all those Insulate Britain bits of paper that no doubt when people ripped them out of their hands, they were sort of thrown and tossed into the bushes. Yeah, quite right. They would be doing everybody a favour, and actually people would go, oh, look at those people picking up the litter. Isn't that nice? Oi, here, here's an old mattress out my garden. Pick that up.
Yeah, the people
Insulate
who
your
held up
house
the
with
traffic
that.
jam. What they should do is actually put them in high-vis jackets with insulate Great Britain or GB on the back, so everybody knows who's coming past them slowly in their traffic jams. Can
Who they
sort of
are.
throw their Costa, and there are other available coffee cups available. But
Yeah, in fact, what
could
they
chuck-
should do is
chuck them
run
out.
along.
So,
They should run along the traffic, because no traffic goes very fast on a motorway, with big buckets and bins that, you just throw your rubbish into the bin. Never mind dropping it onto the verge. You just throw it into there's enough of them to be running up and down out of breath, because their average age, I think, is about 68 or 70. The average age of an Insulate Britain protester. So I think that would be good exercise for them, because they're a lazy bunch. They just sit down wherever they want, glue themselves here, there and everywhere. I think they need the exercise. I would like to see that. I'd like to see them out there breaking rocks like prisoners used to do.
well, you won't be sending them to Siberia to work in the salt mines, I guess. But
Well, that would be quite good, wouldn't it? They could come back with some salt. And then they go and work in the pepper mines. I don't know where the pepper mines are. There must be some pepper mine. I like pepper. Do you like pepper?
Pepper's all right.
yeah, but
just not as much as you.
thinking about exercise, I mean, as you say, that a lot of those people look like they've probably passed beyond their working lives.
They are. They're all retired, aren't they?
Yeah, and the health well-being advice is that we should take 10,000 steps a day.
In what direction?
Well, it doesn't really matter backward. Well, 5,000 forwards and 5,000 backwards.
Ah, yeah.
But
That's
they
true.
could probably do at least 10,000 steps along the hard shoulder.
That's true. Yes, they should. They should be. When you see those people with those, well, they look like unicycles. Only there's no saddle, and they hold them, and they just sort of walk along the road with this one wheel and a stick, and you think, what the hell are you up to? He's like, have you not got the rest of your bicycle or something? Are you buying it in bits? I've just been to Halfords. I've just got the front wheel and an arm. And they walk along, and sometimes I've seen them in pairs. And I know they're supposed to be measuring things, distance and things. You think, what's this second bloke doing then? Oh, I'm writing it down. Oh, I see. That's a job for the boys, isn't it?
Maybe he's watching to make sure he doesn't get run over.
Oh, yeah, that's
Spotter,
true.
a
Yeah,
spotter.
a spotter, yeah, because it's like, he's got two pairs of eyes, isn't it? Well, one pair of eyes. Any comments that we can relay to Terry whilst he's there?
Well, Audrey Forbes Hamilton, she's made the comment about it'll be a long wait.
Yeah.
She meant about finding someone who agrees with the.
Oh,
Britain lot.
yeah, there we are. I would like to actually have a conversation with somebody who actually could decipher what it was about. Do you think they'll be back, Terry? Do you think they will continue?
Well, I mean, the leader, the guy they're going to stick in the clink, says there'll be another 100 people coming forward for every one that they lose, doing their porridge.
I think
that's
he's a bit
wishful
of a
thinking,
dreamer.
isn't it?
Yeah, he's a dreamer, isn't he? I don't know what
Talking about,
Yeah, go on.
about litter, can I switch to space junk?
Yes,
Yeah.
switch to it. Is that a film? Space Junk, the new technology, the boldly go where no refuse collector has gone before.
Sounds a bit like Star Trek, but
Yeah.
I think that it's quite interesting. I hear that the Russians took a pot shot at a 1982 satellite of theirs somewhere in the beyond the stratosphere, because they just wanted to see whether they could hit it and blow it up into thousands and thousands of pieces that caused the cosmonauts or astronauts, what they call them, on the International Space Station
Issues,
to
I should imagine.
go into their have to take cover in their escape capsules.
That's charming,
I think
isn't it?
that was yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, because only one of those tiny pieces could penetrate the International Space Station and, well, put their lives in danger.
Yeah, but
Blimey.
the thing,
Is this
the
not?
thing is,
Yeah.
we all rely
Haven't
on
they seen
satellite
Gravity? Sorry, it's a good
gravity.
film.
Oh yeah,
I like that film.
yeah. What about The Martian? I like that one as well.
I don't think I've seen that one.
And there's not much gravity in space, though, is there?
No, that's right. Yeah. Well,
0 grams.
Yeah.
Zero.
So I mean, I guess if somebody could go far enough out of space, so you'd see the Earth, and you'd probably just see all the detritus that over the last since 1960. When did we walk on the moon? 69 was it? 71? Somewhere around there, when Neil Armstrong said, and prior to that, in the 60s, because we were flying and shoving stuff up there, and then just leaving it up there. It is a bit like the hard shoulder or the verge of the A27. You know, space all around us. Any Martian, not necessarily somebody from Mars, any alien coming in, we are obviously never going to come to this planet because they just go, what a mucky lot. Look, they've just chucked this stuff up.
Who does that?
Yeah, exactly. Why would you think, we're not going there. Bloody wasteful bunch of nutters.
I bet they leave all their clothes outside the shower as well, dirty bums.
Yeah. And
That's what the alien would be saying.
And they left their shoes outside the door. Look, anybody could trip on those. I don't know. I mean,
we're encouraged to recycle, and I know you went down to the dump recently.
I did, yeah,
a couple of times, didn't you? You're a fully licensed tipper.
Yeah, although I didn't give them a tip, to be honest with you. You know, I should have done. They should have sort of said, here's something for our Christmas box, mate.
Yeah, that reminds me, I owe you a tip before Christmas.
Yeah, that's it. Well, give me a good tip. Here's how to how to make a good video. That would be a good tip.
But seriously, this is a real worry because we all rely on satellite communications. I mean, our mobile phones could all go down.
Yeah.
You know, and blah blah blah, because the Russians has blown up some metal in
space,
outer space, and it's fragmented. And it could really mess up communications, couldn't it?
They're obviously going to have to send up some big bin bags, pick them all up. Somebody. Well, that's what Insulate Britain can do. They just give them a limited supply of oxygen and say, look, there's all that scrap metal up there. Here's one of those long sticks with the tweezers. Up you go in space, trying to go click.
I don't know. Would a magnet work in zero gravity? I'm
Yeah.
not sure about that.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah. Well, send them up with the large magnets under their arms.
Yeah, they could play that fishing game, couldn't they, where they lowered a magnet down and try and in space everything's just. And obviously each one of them would have a camera so we could watch, and a thermone so we could enjoy the atmosphere. Because you can't go into space without a thermone.
A theremin.
Or a theremin. A
theremin.
I mean, you can have a moan or
I
a
thought
min.
that was the name of some drag queen or
No,
something.
what is it? A theremin, is it? A theremin.
Theremin.
Theremin. And then you get the TARDIS turning up in the middle of it.
Good sound effect.
Hairball.
Anyway, Terry, lovely to talk to you. Thank you for all those wonderful and interesting points. Have you had a good day today, by the way?
Where have I been?
I don't know. I wasn't asking where you've been.
I can't remember now.
Oh. Was it a good one? You're smiling and laughing now, so it must have been.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, don't forget to defragment your hard drives.
Yes.
And delete all the caches and clean out all the temporary files, and then you might be okay.
Oh, right. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, I've defragged. I've handed all of my cash over, and now Julia's putting it in the bank. I said it's a good little arrangement here.
All right. So it's good night from you, good night from me.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Right. There we go. Terry Banton there, all the way from South Water, with lots of advice for us to do things. Any interesting comments before we go to our first video of the night?
Lord Geoffrey Harrison says, at the Vobes Show, I've just sent you an email of the satellites around the Earth.
Oh.
It's like a dang ring, a planetary ring.
Oh, here we go. Oh, my God. I thought there was like one or two. That can't be all of them. Is that not...
That's a fake image. That is a fake image because that's too uniform.
That can't be... There's not that many satellites. That is a ridiculous... That's like flies round a...
There is that much debris out there, but it's not all the same thing.
That's a load of old rubbish.
Fake.
We don't believe you. I mean, there could be no global warming whatsoever with that. It gets in the way. Even the CO2 wouldn't be able to get through. Well, by the way, there's no such thing as global warming, but I just thought I'd mention it just as a sort of thing. That is a load of old tosh. Mark Burgess says, optimise your drives. They're all optimised. They really are. There's no trees in space. DeForest Kelly was in his element. Ah, yes. Was he the bloke who played Bones?
I think so.
Yeah, in Star Trek. Fake, I'd say, says the Hello recorder. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Sophie Bolt says, sounded like a strangled cat.
I was going to say that'd be your TARDIS.
Oh, my
impression.
Paddy Kingsland from the Radiophonic Workshop employed me when I was a small child to make that sound. He made out that he had some special computerised thing, but actually, in all truth, it was
piano.
me. It was me.
If I recall rightly, on the documentary I watched, it was a key being dragged up and down one of the
piano
the springs at the back of the piano.
Yeah, I believe it was. But actually, what you didn't see was me underneath. In 1963, the year I was
Giving
born,
it all of the
giving it all
vibration.
of that.
Silly me.
Guy GFM says it's not fake. There's a lot out there to tell me
That image definitely couldn't have been
that
real.
couldn't. I mean, that might have been, you know, like when you put an image and you leave it for several minutes, and it's got the same satellite moving about over a number of times. I thought we only had about 6 satellites out there.
We might, but the rest of the world has plenty out there as well.
Do they? What they've done?
We
the same?
can Google it. See if we can Google it.
Oh, we're going to Google it now.
Google space debris around Earth.
Here we are. You're good at typing.
S-P-A-S-E.
Space debris around the Earth. How much? Oh, that's the debris. I thought we were going to. How many satellites were there?
Oh, the satellites.
Yeah, because let's do
Well,
the.
I was going to look for a proper image of.
I know, but let's see how many
Okay.
satellites. Let's see if we get an image
how
of. Yes.
many.
Oh, we have another phone call. It's funny, isn't it? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Mr. Vobes.
Ah, Colonel Craig Ratty. Yes, how are you? High up there on the mountain. I was thinking of you today when I was walking around some rocks that climbers go. Can't tell you where it was because it's coming up in a video very soon.
That sounds very interesting. I shall make sure I shall watch that.
I didn't actually do any of the climb. This looks a nice picture.
What a wimp.
Well, I didn't have any ropes with me.
Oh, that's all right then. I can give you some ropes. I've just retired a couple, so I can give you those to play with.
Oh, nice. When you say you retired them, are they because they're afraid? I'm trying to find the pic.
It's because they're old and unsafe to use.
Ah, yeah, great. That's the picture I want to get.
Yes, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of satellites up there. I mean, we've been chucking them up there for the last 50-odd years, and just recently, I mean, there's communication satellites, there's scientific ones out there, there's the Russians, the Chinese, the Americans, the Europeans. They've all been throwing them up there, and they're all up there for various reasons. And once they're up, they probably will stay there because they end
Why
up.
do they not? Why do they not bump into each other?
Because they, in theory, know where they all are, and they put them in an orbit so they don't bump into each other, and they end up in a similar orbit, so they're all going at the same speed. So in theory, once they get positioned correctly, they do end up. That's why you've got that ring of satellites all going round in the same orbit, because that's the place they need to be to do their job. And there's a company, I can't remember the name, which is sending up hundreds of satellites to create a new system for GPS tracking, etc.
Oh, right.
Instead of the American system. I forget the name of the company, but they are putting up literally hundreds of them. They're going to be, to form a complete ring around the Earth, so that communication and GPS can be used instead of using the American satellites. So there are.
Apparently, there's a camera as well. Rich M says there is a Hasselblad camera dropped by an astronaut in the 60s or 70s.
Oh, right. Where's that?
Just somewhere up there.
Somewhere.
As well as as well as the satellites, there's all the bits and pieces that have fallen off various space stations and other various bits of equipment, and where some of the satellites have been hit by bits of stray rock. There's damage, there's clutter up there all over the place. quite a concern. And for the Russians to blow one up is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's just thrown hundreds of tons of minute debris all over the place, and that could, in time, hit other satellites or hit the space station. And you've only got to have a thing the size of a penny, doing thousands of miles an hour, hitting a satellite or hitting a space station, and it could cause real problems. So I don't know why they did it, because they know what the game is, and they know what's up there, and they know the consequences of doing it. So it's a bit of a silly thing to do.
Mark Burgess says, are there windows in which launch vehicles have to pass through to reach orbit? Probably.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been involved in it now, so I was more on the technical side rather than the design side rather than the launch side. But yeah, there's certain orbits that you go, that you put them up into, so that either the satellite stays in the same position relative to Earth, or it goes around not relative to a fixed position on Earth, depending on what it's doing and what it's up there for.
So it sounds like Insulate Britain should go up there and sellotape themselves to space and try and stop all these things from bumping into each other.
Yeah, so I was rather pleased to see some of the Insulate Britons doing time, so that will teach them.
Yeah,
they probably haven't realised that they've now got a criminal record, so if when they come out and they want to have credit, or when they want a loan, or they want to do a job. And
when they want to actually insulate their own house, they won't be able to get the loan, as you say. They won't be able to borrow the money. Sorry, mate, you've got a criminal record.
If they want to change their jobs or something, or do all sorts of things, get car insurance, Have you ever been convicted? Oh, yes.
Yes, no, I've sat on it was a protest for a cause, and they always used to say, it's not a cause, it is a cause, you twits.
Yeah. Well, the way, as you say, though, that the people organising it are standing at the back and letting all the other people.
Yeah, of course. This is how these things run. These cults, because it is a cult.
I mean, the man or the people running it, they're like the generals standing at the back of the battlefield, not getting shot at, aren't they?
Yeah, what was his name? Somebody Norton was one of them.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah,
it's funny.
It's a pity they can't do them for inciting riots or whatever, or public disorder.
Well, exactly. What was you going to say, Julie?
Audrey Forbes Hamilton says also George Clooney is floating about up there somewhere. George
Clooney?
Yeah, he You have to watch the film Gravity.
Oh, I see. That's another film again.
But who said it? Daily Walker said NASA track all the space junk. They are even tracking a toothbrush.
They're tracking it. I mean, the computer power wasted on that. Imagine if they had to do that on the grass verges.
Even a toothbrush up there, if it hit the wrong thing, it could do a lot of damage.
So basically, we are waiting for a catastrophe which a natural catastrophe which will knock out the satellites, and then all our systems, everything that we have gone to in modern, we're going to be in a cashless society soon. All of this will, never mind what the terrorists might do or what other activators might do, this will just happen and we will have no backup. It's like when you go to the bank. I don't know if you've ever done this, Colonel Craig Ratty. You go to the bank and you say, I just want to get a tenner out, please. And they say, I'm ever so sorry, our computers are down. And you say, well, I don't care about that. I just want a tenner out because you've got my money. I put it in. I want a tenner out, please. No, you can't have it because the computers are down. Well, go into a cardboard box at the back where my money is kept and just give me my... And they can't. And even then, they won't sort of compensate you for their clumsiness. They're still going to charge you the interest or whatever it is, bank charges, even though their computer has gone down, they haven't invested. And a lot of these banks' computers are very ancient because they daren't upgrade them because they may lose a few noughts. Or we all might gain a few ones and then they'll be out of pocket. It is a ludicrous situation. So a toothbrush could wreck the whole world's economy because we've all pushed ourselves into this digital situation where hard-nosed cash, in the old-fashioned ways of doing things, we still need one foot in that camp.
Yes, we'll just remind you that your way of life is based around computers and YouTube. And so everybody watching the Vogue show tonight is doing it via a satellite somewhere.
Yeah, there you go. Via a satellite. We could go down at any minute, and we often do. So, Colonel Crowley, lovely to talk to you.
Yeah, and you, sir.
You look after yourself. Thanks very much. And yeah, watch Saturday's video. You'll enjoy it because it's all about rocks.
Okay, thank you very much indeed.
Take care. Bye.
See you later.
Bye, Julian.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Oh, there we are. That was Colonel Craig Ratty. Time for a video, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
So we... Hello.
Yeah,
We're in the dark
Who turned
here.
the lights out?
I don't know what happened there. Not that one. Is it that one? There it is.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We were just one of the satellites in the studio. Just came down. I think it bumped into Eric's ear. Can you put your bloody great ear trumpet out the way, Eric? You're causing too much chaos and mischief. That's right, sir. Thank you. Anyway, we're going to start with some music. This is Ray of Hope, and he's got his MIDI out tonight. Let's find out what the hell he's talking.
What you've done now?
What I've done is I haven't labelled the videos in the. What I haven't done is labelled them here, so I don't know actually which one is which. But I can do it in a different way. I can do it this way.
Now, I've told you before about how you can cheat with a machine like this. Now, what I'm going to do now is play a melody. Recognise it? But I'm not going to play the backing. A MIDI file on the keyboard is going to play the backing. So we're going to try and play Simply the Best by Tina Turner. With the Yamaha playing all the backing and me playing the melody with my right hand. My left hand, go and get the glass of wine. That's all that's used for at the moment. Here we go. old backing, isn't it?
How about that there? Well, you were singing in the studio.
That was great. That was simply the best.
Simply the best, Ray. Thank you so much for that.
Cry for Joy made me giggle. Does he have a dubstep version?
And I said, what's
Who's
a dubstep? Is that the name of a band?
It's it's not even worth trying to explain them.
No, I don't know what
You're really
dubsteps are. Is that a dub? Dub.
Dubstep sounds good.
Yeah, dubstep.
Is it like this?
Yeah.
Dubstep?
Simply the best. Whatever noise it is you made. Anyway, there we are. That was good old Ray.
Thanks, Ray.
Thanks, Ray. Very nice. Oh yes, 07934746. I just saw you pointing in the studio.
I do that every time.
The numbers, I know the numbers are not.
How long is it going to take you? I'm not going to tell him.
The numbers don't actually hang in the studio there.
They don't?
No. They are actually written on with Tipex. Lee Wington says, evening all, sorry I'm late, don't worry about it. I've been thinking all day it's Thursday, so wasn't expecting the show. I've been watching some of your videos from a year ago when you went to Wales. Great stuff. Wales. Wales? What do you mean, Wales?
Wasn't it just before
I didn't go to Wales. When did I go to Wales?
Was it?
Oh, we kind of, to film the man with the sheep, with the cows. Good evening, welcome to the show, phone call, person.
Good evening.
Good
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Who is that?
It's Ted Moulding from Milton Keynes.
Ah, Ted Moulding from Milton Keynes. We should clue into your voice, you see, on the voice synthesizer. It's not yet managed to recognise your voice.
No, I don't suppose it has.
Not yet. It still thinks you're Gloria from Tetford.
Oh, I'm far from being Gloria.
Oh,
Only at the weekends.
Yeah, glorious.
What are you at the weekends, Julia?
How are you? How are you? What can you do for us?
Yesterday,
Yes.
I went to a talk about the Euston to Birmingham Railway.
Fair enough. Someone's got to go there. I'm sure it made the audience very busy.
Yes, it was very good actually, because it's been going for about 188 years.
Oh. They'll put an engine on it soon.
Well, yeah, they might even do that. But, what I did whilst I was there, I acquired 2 books.
Right. It's very interesting.
It talks about the Wolverton railway works, the world's first dedicated railway works. And I bought 2 books, one for myself and one for Station Master's Choice.
Oh, what a nice, generous gift.
Now, all I need to do is have his address.
Certainly, it's 32 Acacia Avenue, in case you want to send it to him. I actually got his address. I can pass it on if you would like. Is Station Master out there tonight?
He is.
Station Master. Bernie,
do we have your permission?
Have you got permission that I can send Ted your address? He's got a book for you, love.
He said a book.
A book.
A book. Actually, I don't know. I was going to say it could be sent with Blippy.
I've got to send Blippy to him. I still haven't gone to the post office yet.
It doesn't matter because they become for 2 separate.
Yeah. It'd be easier if I give Ted Bernie's address. There's no fee for this, by the way. This is a free transaction.
Yeah.
He says that's very kind of you, and yes, that'll be fine. Right, I'll put it in the comments. And anybody else who wants to buy Bernie a book about stations and things and railways, then you can send him a book as well. That's very nice of you. What a lovely thing to do, Ted. I need to write that. I need to write it down, otherwise I'll forget. Send Ted Bernie's address. Now, don't let me get wrong and send Bernie address from Ted. I don't want to send him a little frock. Otherwise, Bernie might. We'll have to get Bernie to dress up in it. Right, remind me to give me that to me.
Don't put it there then.
No, don't put it there. This is a show suit. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Ted. I will pass that on. We will get that organised.
Thank you very much.
I've got your email, haven't I? Yeah, of course I have. I've got an email, so I'll send you the thing. I've got his address, and it'll all be hunky dory. Don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing. Don't know what that's from. Right, brilliant. Thank you very much. Is that you done?
That's me done.
Fantastic. Well done, sir. Look after yourself, Ted.
And you. Take care.
Yeah, take care.
Speak
Bye
to
for
you
now.
soon.
Bye for now.
Yes, this is the address exchange. If you, it's a bit like the multicoloured swap
book
shop.
exchange.
Yeah. Do you remember the multicoloured swap shop when you were a kid with Noel Edmonds? Was it Noel Gordon or Noel Christmas? Another talking point that I've got, which has it's on this bit of it's on a bit of paper now that I just tore off. No, it isn't. Before we go to our last video, which I have to say is 7 minutes long, but don't worry, the train dodging by Dale is fantastic. Just before we go that, question, have we seen, I understand, I can't remember which department store it is, they're shutting down more of the department stores. Have we now seen...
House of Fraser.
House of Fraser going under the hammer. Have we seen the end of department stores? And if so, will you miss them? And if not, which was your favourites? Woolies being, well, it wasn't really a department store, but it was sort of had its departments inside, didn't it? Woolworths. That was frightening. And C&A. Do you remember man at C&A? Or woman at C&A? Or anybody at C&A?
I don't remember C&A.
C&A. It was coats and hats.
Oh, I see.
C&A. No, that wasn't really what it was stood for. But
Oh my God,
coats and
word he
hats.
says ever.
Coats and hats.
Coats and hats. Coats and hats.
Debenhams, they recently disappeared off the high street, haven't they? British Home Stores, they've also gone. Who's
Grace
next?
Brothers.
Coats and hats, says Mr. Mocky. There we are, coats and hats, C&A. I always remember the adverts for man at C&A. Used to go with my mum to C&A in Croydon. Army and Navy, is that still going? The Army and Navy stores?
Never
It
heard of
it wasn't just for the services, you know. Yup, coats and hats, as we called it. There we are. It was basically clothes, and you'd go into... Now, in Worthing, funnily enough, where C&A was, is now another clothing store that does other things, whose name now... What's that place that does stuff? They do X...
TK Maxx?
Yeah, TK Maxx. But it's in the same shop, so I always used to think, oh, C&A have been taken over by TK Maxx. C&A, fantastic. Look at Beals. Is Beals still there, or is Beals gone? Beals might be Simon Nitron's favourite ones. Ann Summers, says Mr. Mocky. Is that still going?
I think they're still going.
I think Ann Summers is still going. Richard Shops. I remember there was a lot of Richard Shops. And I used to think, one day I'll have a shop named after me. Vobes shops, not quite the same. Beals went from Horsham. British Home Stores, yeah, they've gone.
Yep.
Famous Army Stores, says Rich M. Shake and Vax. Home and Colonial. I don't think they were making that one up. Lipton's. Oh, yes, the old tea shop. They were nice, weren't they? Chelsea Girl, has that gone?
Never heard of it.
Chelsea Girl? Yeah, that was a bit like New Look. Is New Look still going?
Yeah, I think so.
New Look. And what's the other one that's like New Look?
Tammy Girl? No.
Tammy Girl, yeah. Old Look. That's a charity shop. Old Look.
River Island?
Is River Island still going?
Oh, yeah, no, I think it is.
Is it?
I think it is.
Debenhams has definitely gone.
Yep.
Burkatex. Never heard of Burkatex. That does that. Bentals. Oh, yeah, Bentals. That was. Is that gone? There used to be a Bentals in Kingston. And they used to have Christmas lights up there. And one year I was up there emceeing. Thank you very much. And I had to bring on... oh, golly, it shows you how time's gone. A bloke from the Archers, whose name now escapes me, but he played the... I don't listen to the Archers anymore. What did he... He played the tough... He was the guy who fell off the roof. They got rid of him. He was such a nice bloke. B-Jam. Have they gone?
I don't know.
Rumbelows. They're another one.
Sensible Paul says, can anybody remember Bellman's? We had one in Brighton. And Ray of Hope says, C&A are a Dutch company and there are many stores still in Holland.
Oh, in Holland.
Lee Wigginton says, Miss Selfridge.
Oh, yes, Miss Selfridge. Now, Mr. Selfridge's.
Station Master's Choice says it's true. There was a store called Home and Colonial. We had one in Battle High Street opposite the butcher's.
I say, I'm just going down to Home and Colonial. Don't you know? Imagine it now. You'd never get away with it. Burkatex was white ladies of a certain age. Oh, sorry, where ladies of a certain age went for wear in Debenhams. Oh, it sounds like across your heart. Who are they? Playtex. Burkatex is for the lower regions, don't you know? Hold your bum up. Flandish and Crimple, says David Vad. I remember Bellman's in Brighton.
Mothercare, yeah.
Mothercare, yeah. That was a shocker when Mothercare went. Dunn & Co. Oh, Dunn & Co., the old cigarette place. Oh, no. Was it Dunn & Co.?
I have no idea.
No, Dunn & Co. was the suits and jackets and stuff, wasn't it? Who was the other one that was... I was thinking of the... Dunlop. Not Dunlop. Dunn smoking brand. I don't smoke, but there was a brand of smokers who had... Drum?
Drum is a brand of smoking tobacco.
Oh, no. Dunhill. Was it Dunhill? Dunhill. Something like that. They had... Yeah, Dunhill. There we go. So they had a brand of... they had shops, didn't they? Dunhill shops. Dunhill. Yeah, done that. Dunhill. Fistulaire and Bungalits. Nice.
Oasis is gone, says Jeff and Mandy.
Gosh. Hepworth. I mean,
DFS still have a sale on, says Lee Wigginton.
DFS. My DFS, an old colleague, somebody who shared an office with me, DFS, he remember going there and said, oh yeah, they've changed their name. I think they were called something else. He says they're now called DFS, and it stood for different beep shop. Different effing shop.
Right.
There's a shop in Knocking, a little village up in Knocking in Shropshire. Knocking, it's called the Knocking Shop. God knows what they sell there. Bit of everything. Have a bit of everything, please. Brentford Nylons, Linda Kane. Yes, that's where Linda Kane used to get all her leather and chains and whips from. But unfortunately, she can't. And Ann Summers no longer do it. Who's that other up the up the duff?
What?
That other very expensive women's lingerie, sexy women's lingerie, the upper market one that was like Ann Summers, but Agent Provocateur. That one.
Nope, not heard of that one.
No, not heard of Agent Provocateur.
Nope.
Agent Provocateur.
Nope.
We have clasps where you can hold on to things, naughty things. Oh, very.
It's not a sight I can unsee, is it?
No, true. Freeman, Hardy and Willis. Oh yes, now they were a shoe shop, weren't they? Freeman, Hardy and Willis. Victoria's Secret. Oh yes, that's another one. I must actually just reminded me to delete my cache on my search networks. They're all laughing.
Don't want to know.
Don't want to know. Don't care. Carphone Warehouse. Well, he sold up, made a lot of money.
Rumblow's Radio Rentals.
Oh yes, we used to rent a television from Rumblow's. They were the days. T-Vicar, more T-Vicar.
Comets had a big one in Worthing nearby the station.
Laura Ashley, that's another one, yeah.
Oh, someone else mentioned a couple of others up there that I'd...
But they've all gone so rapidly, haven't they, in the last 10 years? 10, 20 years? I mean, Woolworths.
Laura Ashley, Dixon's.
Oh,
yes.
And the other...
Gamleys.
Gamleys.
Toys R Us.
Toys R Us. And what was the other? The Radio Spares play. Radio Spares was another one. Do you remember Radio Spares?
Nope.
But and the other shop that was like Dixon's that was bigger. That instead you had to go down there. Oh, they were only down the road. And I used to buy bits and bobs from them. I can't even remember. What were they called? Tandy. That was another one. Tandy.
Dorothy Perkins?
No, it wasn't Dorothy. But Maplin's. Thank you very much. In the old days, Maplin's used to go in and get a circuit board from them. And some solder and a soldering iron and all of that. Yes, Comet, Cass Kidson. That's a pottery
designer,
one, isn't it?
Cass
Is that still
Kidston.
not going? She can't have gone. Bunces. Paradigm, Cornucopia and Wishwash.
Paradigm.
Yes, thanks. Budgeons, yeah. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
The name.
Circle K.
Circle K, blimey. Oh yeah, what was and Fine Fare? Do you
I've noticed that all the Mulberry's liquor stores have been closed down and taken over lately.
Have they? Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Sorry, I come back for a second bite.
A second bite. It's at £5 now. It's gone up. £5.
All right.
Yeah, go on, have a bite before we go to our last video.
Yeah, all right. Just quickly, you forgot to mention Arding and Hobbs in St John's Road, Battersea.
Oh, Arding and Hobbs. Is that a mate of Russell Hobbs?
I don't know.
What did Arding and Hobbs do?
Well, I think they were a bit like Are You Being Served type of
yes.
department store. Yeah, that was a very good TV series. I don't know if you ever watched any of them.
Yes, I did. Are you free, Mr. Humphries?
Are you free? Are you
I'm free. Yes.
I'm free.
You're all doing very well. Never heard of it.
Yeah, and they had that dirty old chief executive, who's always chasing the.
Yes.
It's all a bit. Politically incorrect today, but he's chasing his secretary around,
Absolutely, yeah, that's right.
Oh, you are awful. Oh, you are awful.
You are awful.
But
That's Dick Emery.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. But amazing number of shops there. I mean, here we are. We've only just touched the surface, I'm sure. And all those shops, all gone. A way of life. That whole... Actually, I should do a video about that. All these old stores. Keep this. Write this down. We should do... That would make an interesting thing because it's from the 60s... The 50s, when department stores... Well, I guess even in the 40s they had them, didn't they? I remember reading some books. And when did Selfridges start up?
Well, Arding and Hobbs apparently started life about 1876-ish, something around that.
Oh, right, yeah, so...
And it went all the way through to 1958-ish, and then apparently in later life it was split into two, partly Debenhams, which is now deceased, but TK Maxx, which we know is alive still. There's one in Horsham. Tacky Maxx, we call it.
Tacky Maxx, yes. I always think that is quite a recent brand, but is it quite old? Station Master's Choice says nobody seems to have mentioned Woolies. I said Woolworths or Woolies.
Anyway, I just want to mention in Worthing, is it Montague Street? You've got Poland's, the furnishing shop. It's been there donkey's years,
yes,
hasn't it?
That's true. I never thought anybody would buy their stuff. I mean, it's very dated, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems to keep going, though, doesn't it?
Well, we have a lot of Polish people over here, so maybe they buy it. I don't know. Anyway, you're quite right.
Get on to your next video,
We've got to get onto the video, and then we've got to end the show.
Blockbuster.
Blockbusters.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, take
Bye.
care, Terry. Thanks for calling again.
Bye.
Bye. There we go. Terry Banton ending that little bit. But isn't that amazing? I just thought, are we at the end of the department store? And they're all coming up. Millions and millions and millions. Top shop, yeah.
Should we end on a good note?
What's that?
The Queen is back.
The Queen is back! Yes, she was seen out there down in the bottom of a coal mine lifting up a big axe, and she took out about 30 foot of coal single-handed, and she showed her tattooed biceps at the end. So anybody who thought the Queen was on the way out, she is not. And actually, while she was down there, Freddie Mercury came up to her and said, "Have you nicked my gag?" Anyway, that was that. Right, we're going to our last video now, ladies and gentlemen. It's 7 minutes long. It will take us over the hour, but we wanted to make sure that those people who wanted to watch Alex, whatever his name is, Bimfield or Bonfield, whatever his name is.
Belfield.
That's it, Mr. Belfield. I've never actually seen him, but apparently...
I agree with some of what he says.
I've not actually seen him. So, anyway, if you want to watch that, you can turn away now. But Dale has braved everything to go down a tunnel at night about 2:30 in the morning. He was fumbling for the lights. He's got a torch. There's a live rail, potential of a train. There's a green light at the end of it. He's looking for the air shafts and goodness knows what. And he's in there and it's dangerous. So, ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself. We don't know if he escapes.
Hold on to your hat.
Hold on to your hats, for here it comes. It's not that one.
That one, though.
Okay, Vobesters, some of you might find this interesting and some of you won't. But I thought I'll let some of you that will find it interesting have a quick look through one of the longest railway tunnels that we have in Surrey. The Bletchley Tunnel. It's just over 3/4 of a mile long. And part of my job is to inspect it and It's about 2:30, 3:15 in the morning, and I've got my big powerful torch on. You see those signals down there, that green light down there, that's Godstone Station. And I've just come in from the north end where Nutfield lies. So keep going. Big torch, big bright torch. I'll take you through for a bit and I'll show you one of the shafts. Now this tunnel is what they call a barrel tunnel, which means it's the shape of a barrel. So the profile you got at the top mirrors underneath the track bed. Both of the lines were renewed a few years ago. Okay, so when they built this tunnel, they would have built shafts down and dug down and then dug left and right. I'll show you the shaft. Sorry, that's what the gauge is. My gauge. Okay. That's a shaft. Let me get you a better look at mine the juice room. Yeah, see at the top there, so the cage on. So there's a few of those in there. Like I say, they dug down through the hillside and down, and then they would have dug left and right until they met up with the next shaft. So, well, I hope you find this interesting and not just some madman randomly walking through a railway tunnel at 3 o'clock in the morning with a big bright torch. So there is some lighting on the tunnel, but I've just tried turning it on before I came in and it didn't work. So one will be reporting that, and one makes one's report out in the morning. So that rail there, you probably know, is the third rail. A lot of power, you don't want to touch that. We've got the train stopped at the moment, by the way. I've got a man down at Godstone that's stopping all the trains for us. We've got some trains, some leaf busting trains coming through in about 40 minutes time. So I've got to get to the end of that. Got to get to the end of the tunnel before that train comes through, where I will have to stand clear of the line and wait for it to pass. Let's get you a better look. Okay, so that's just over 4 minutes. I think I've probably bored you senseless by now. Look at the brickwork. Got my hands full. Right, let's get down to another shaft. I'll have to let you have a look at that and then we'll say goodbye, I think. You're going to have to give me some, taught me some skills, Richard, on holding a torch across level gauge, keeping my PPE intact. I know you like the word PPE. And looking at the railway lines at the same time. But yeah, well, this is what we call a recess. Years ago, before we were allowed in the tunnel while the trains were running, if anything come through, anyone that was in the tunnel would run and scamper for those recesses. I've been on the job about 30 years now, over 30 years, and I've actually been in a tunnel, a large one, the one that goes through Mickleham. And I was standing in one of those, and a train not only entered from the north end, it also entered from the south end. Sorry if that you didn't get that, my phone's gone on low mode. Yeah, so a train went in, well, entered from Mickleham Tunnel for both ends of the tunnel at virtually the same time. I was standing in a recess, and the air pressure, you cannot believe, is phenomenal. It pushes you, it does your ears, it pushes your chest in, it's phenomenal. And when the train passes you, the vacuum that comes behind it nearly sucks you out the recesses. But something I'm glad I've experienced. Right, I've got another recess coming up here. Not recess, a shaft. You see they're quite wet. Shaft number 5. I think that was number, I can't remember, I think that was number 2 I showed you. Lovely old Victorian brickwork. Oh, there you go, Vobes. A quick look, or rather 7 minutes worth of Bletchley Tunnel between Nutfield and Godstone on what we call the Tunbridge line. Cheerio, bye for now.
Wow.
That was cool.
That was cool. That was cool. When it first came in, I thought, uh-oh, it's in the wrong format, and I wonder how people would take this. But Dale, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. Thank you so much.
That was awesome. Genuinely.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things was I kept thinking, if you trip on the on the ballast or anything, and you'd fall onto the. But I guess that you've got the PPE is there to protect you from the electricity, so that you're probably covered head to foot as long as you don't kiss the thing. And then the other thought was, the lights don't work in there. What if your battery goes down? You're in the middle of a tunnel. You can't see anything other than the green light at the end, that murky green light. And it was fascinating to hear about the air pressure when the trains do that, and they can suck you out.
Yeah, from your hiding spot.
You see, this is one of the things the Vogue show gets to show you. You might think, somebody might have sat there and thought, well, that's not very interesting. But what an interesting experience that nobody ordinarily, unless it's your job, are you ever likely to go down there and sit and witness those things.
I almost wanted to have seen you have to tuck away and have a drink.
Yeah, no,
it must be an exhilarating thing.
It must,
as long
be.
as you know that you're safe. And
yeah, there you go. That was fantastic. Thank you so much.
That was Thomas the Tank Engine's man cave. Says Cry for Joy.
And as far as holding a torch and holding a camera and walking down and making sure you don't go on the electric, you don't need any help on that front. You did that brilliantly. Just hold the camera horizontally then. But we saw it. It was great. It was really lovely.
There's a good question from Clive Waterfall there. Do you ever encounter any animals in the tunnels, Daily Walker?
Oh, yeah. You must get bats unless the train...
Bats, rats, mice.
Unless the trains are running significantly to perhaps hide them. But
it gets boring after 32 years. I can imagine.
Yeah.
As doing anything for 32 years, you might get a little bit blasé about it. But thank you for sharing it.
No, but to the layman, we've never seen it before. And it was that was fascinating.
Yep.
So there we go. If you do something interesting or a bit different, or you find boring, we might not. Make a video of it, just as Dale did, and send it in.
Only dead animals, says Daily Walker.
Oh yeah, I imagine that they can't be much left of them when you come across them after the trains have had a chance to whiz past, and
Anyway.
That's
The Queen's back.
the Queen's back. Yes, she's down in the coal mine showing her. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for the videos. Big thanks to Ray of Hope with his MIDI melody and You Are the Best, and to Dale for his walking down in that thing. And I hope, well, obviously you've got out before the leaf blowing train. I mean, that was something you didn't even know about. Leaf blowing.
Buster.
Yeah. Gosh. Leaf it out, mate. Thanks very much for all the comments, to the phone calls, and to Judith for making sure, and the lovely Julia also, who's on the side doing a little bit.
On the side doing a little bit.
Yeah, she's on the side doing a little bit. And thanks for coming in.
Thank you for
and being
having
on the
me
side
here.
and doing a little bit. And I was over here doing a little bit as well. So between the
On the
pair
other
of-
side.
on the other
A
side,
little bit.
exactly. On the blue microphone is Mr. Vobes. On the purple one, the lovely Julia. There we are. I hope you've enjoyed it. You can all go and watch Alex Belfield.
Belfield, or whatever.
That's good. Or anything else. Of course, you are incapable of doing your own thing. Don't just because I said it. Don't have to do it. Till next time, back again on Friday. I shall be on my miserable own, but don't worry, no reason to stop. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the show at any point in there, and we will see you anon. Till next time, from the lovely Julia and I.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now, baby. Bye.